Audio.
Hello, and welcome to Garblag Games with episode 2 of Coriolis. Paying the road, pay the road. Hello, and welcome to Garblag Games with episode 2 of Coriolis. Remember to follow us on all of the social medias. There's also a fancy Discord where lots of people are talking about lots of things. Follow us on YouTube, subscribe and like. Come here, watch us on Twitch. There's also a Patreon, and I don't think I'm forgetting anything. No. Tomorrow is Dragonlance on Thursday. Thursday's Dragonlance, Tuesday will be Vessen, and Wednesday will be a continuation of Coriolis for a little while. If you recall from last week, our magnificent players managed to weave their way through what started off as a simple job of going to see the owner of their ship and finding out what he wanted. I'm just going to randomly pick the first person on the screen out. Ben, would you like to do the recap?
There's a surprise. The recap. Yes, recapping the thing where
you
the
should
thing
have all
happened.
Prepared.
Yes, I've got detailed notes. Look, see?
Yeah. They're pretty much as detailed as my notes.
Frankly, could have been anything.
That was anything. That was the Garblag schedule for the last 2 months. Yes. Oh, good to know. The people that are currently online, that's us. So hello us. Thank you for watching us.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Recap. Yes, that's what I was doing. I was recapping. So we were in space on a rubbish spaceship. Hey, there's Beowulf as well. We're in space. We're on a rubbish spaceship. It's Nye's fault that the spaceship is rubbish.
Yep.
Because he's the space driver. We were heading back to the Coriolis station, which is the thing. And we've been called back by our sponsor. Now I've got to get the 2 R's the right way round this time. There was a Rasul and there was a Rashid.
Rasul and Razi. Yeah. Rasul is your patron who
is our patron,
ship, owns your debt. And isn't really your boss per se, as he doesn't really tell you what to do.
I don't know, we're
most
friends.
Of the time.
We're friends, except
friends.
when he asks us to do stuff or for money.
That's what friends do.
Yeah.
Well, he gave us a spaceship. So
he did give us a spaceship that we have to pay him for.
Yeah, big asterisks.
Yeah.
And so he has called on us for a favor because we're friends. So we docked in Coriolis station. We took a wander through. Checked in, let everybody know we were there, which in hindsight may have not been the best plan. Went to his house, had a couple of cocktails, some small snacks, and then agreed to go and pick up his nephew from the world of
Cello,
which is in the Arai system. That was what was throwing me. I was looking at the system, not at the world. So we agreed to do that, and then we went, let's investigate. So we did some in-depth, high role-playing, extreme investigation of the various goings-on, where we uncovered that A, he doesn't have a nephew. B, Ari likes bars.
It's a detailed investigation of the bar.
I don't think that was new information.
That wasn't particularly new information. But because we were all doing such an investigate, unfortunately, we left poor Mac, our pilot, to go back and start the ship up all by himself. And there was a gang of ruffians, thugs, and ne'er-do-wells waiting in the hangar for him to arrive. And when he did, they were mean to him and made him cry and sit down on the floor.
I didn't sit down. I did sob, though.
You did. And I can't remember if Sirius was the next one. No, Sirius was
Sirius
the cavalcade of disappointment. Ari was the next one to turn up, but was shit-faced, so
Yeah,
he was
that
no help
made
to the
things
ruffians
worse.
either. And then I turned up and convinced them that we were only in it for the money, and if they gave us more money, we'd deliver whatever it was needed to deliver to them instead of to him. And then they went away, satisfied in the knowledge that we're vicious mercenaries who will do anything for money. At which point, Sirius arrived and was like, "What's going on?"
Pretty much confirmed your suspicions that the catwalk.
Oh yeah, the nephew is
the nephew, and
yeah, the important part is the
everyone
nephew, and
wants
that
them.
he's not the cock and not the nephew. Whereupon we got onto our ship, and Mac and Ari were able to identify that there was something on the ship that was siphoning power, but we're not sure where or what.
No, we know roughly where, we just couldn't get to it properly.
Yes, sorry, that's true.
You couldn't get to it.
And yeah, I couldn't get to it, and you were shit-faced drunk, so it kind of balances out.
And then we flew off out of Coriolis on our way to the space gate in the Kua system, heading out. We've got 2 jumps to make. I'm assuming we're going Iwaz Eri.
Yep.
And we negotiated we negotiated the money up front for the jumps, so we could absolutely do it independently. But then we were going to try and negotiate group fare as well, so that we could get double discount.
Yeah. You successfully managed that last time.
Oh, we did. Jolly good.
Yeah. And you managed to find a convoy heading your way. And join up. It was a bit of a smaller convoy, so rather than the 200 you were expecting to pay in a big convoy, it ended up being 600 each jump,
which is still less than 5,000.
Still a lot less than 5,000. So
yeah, money.
And then you had a bit of an iffy end to your jump,
just a little bit,
because your pilot bungled the jump a little bit.
Well, he didn't bungle it entirely.
Didn't bungle it, but you sort of
he didn't do his best work.
Right?
I was panicking. Okay, I thought I still think the ship's gonna blow up. Okay, we woke up to screaming, and that was probably me in the cryopods.
I'm thinking I might have to just give that kid my opor, because he clearly needs it more than anyone else does.
Don't we all? And that is pretty much where you find yourselves. You
now do we make a single jump to Iwaz and then do another jump to Eri, or is it a double jump?
Yeah, but you pretty much, once you've locked in your final jump destination, unless you go through a danger zone, your stasis pods won't wake you up, because you're pretty much you're going in at the sun. In one of the portals near the sun, you come out again, and then you're taking a portal around the sun again to the next jump. So you pretty much don't. That one's a lot shorter, and you don't wake up in between. But the moment you arrive,
autopilots.
The moment you arrive, the stasis pods reactivate and slowly wake you all up to vague memories of screaming and shadows and horrible things in the darkness.
And welcome to Fluston Paradise.
Screaming! Who's screaming?
And I imagine the lights on your ship sort of slowly go doom, 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 doom in front of you, but half of them flicker, and one of them's just not on at all, because Ari didn't get around to changing the light bulb before you went in.
No, turn off the light. It's hurting my eyes.
It flickers marginally more around you. Just to...
Can you get a hangover from stasis? Or
how long were we in stasis for?
It wasn't
200 years.
You were pretty much on schedule as expected. It's taken you maybe a few days to get to the array system, just joining up in
combat. Conscious in the portal
and then flying out to the first one. Your ship sort of idled there, waiting for the next convoy that had been booked to arrive, and then made the final jump. And time in portal jumps is a bit iffy sometimes. So yeah, you ended up making it within a few days of leaving.
We kept to the remains of civilization.
That is a distinct possibility with portal jumps. If it goes horribly wrong, you might end up 200, 300, 10,000 years into the future, or
Sweet.
just don't come back at all.
Or you come back on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Spread across space as hard radiation.
In this case, you came back on a Wednesday, obviously.
Oh, well, yeah. I'm shit at everything, but piloting, I'm so at. So.
Also, you're already getting rerolls, seemingly. So there you go.
They have faith in us.
They have
thanks,
great faith in you and the system.
We got a sponsor, yeah.
So the ship is pretty much cycling back up to life support and powering up the consoles around the piloting area, allowing everyone to wander about the ship freely again.
Well, first and foremost, the most important thing is to get dressed and do my makeup. I can't go out like this. This is my hibernation clothes.
Oh, do we change clothes for hibernation? I
was about to say I slept in my clothes.
Yeah, I probably did as well. I don't think either of us change very frequently.
I change all the time.
I will stagger out of my pod and find some coffee, actual coffee.
No,
and some paracetamol.
I'm gonna go check the ship's readings just to make sure we're super not, fucked.
Yeah, first thing, I'm gonna go into to the helm as well, check we are on course.
We'll be fine. I mean, we'll be fine. Like it's not. We could be 10,000 years in the future. I mean, that could happen. I mean, what if that's happened? Oh God, what if that's happened? No, we'll be fine. 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 I mean, we won't be atomized. Oh God, what if we'll be atomized?
When you turn up in or near the pilot seat in the sort of bridge area, it's maybe a bit of an exaggeration to call it a bridge area. It's a couple of chairs and sort of some consoles and a few levers and handles.
It's roughly to the door.
A couple of bits that you have to yank that originally you weren't supposed to yank, but otherwise they just don't work anymore.
Yeah.
But there's a single flashing light on there displaying a reading that everything is roughly as you would expect it to be. You've arrived 3 days later. You're probably expecting something between 2 to 4 days travel.
That's absolutely fine. Oh, it feels so much better. Wait.
Where are we, Mac?
We are. Did you have like a map console thing, or it's
in the Arai system?
Yeah, we're in the Arai system
as expected.
Okay. Yep, everything's going perfectly to plan.
I will bring up a tray of coffees and actual tea up to the bridge for anyone who wants it.
Oh yes, I'd like.
You're just trying to rob me of those darkness points now, aren't you?
Yeah.
I'll start drinking later.
Once everything starts going south.
Yeah.
I'm just settling. I'm kind of relaxing. I've forgotten the strange small energy siphoning thing. So once I remember that, it'll all go downhill again. But it's fine.
How sounds for you?
I'm on the ship. I like the ship. Ship's safe.
Now, Array itself is a binary star system, so you have two suns circling nearby. But Jallo is pretty much, it's out in the sticks. The Array system is renowned for several asteroid belts, and you're going to have to pass through a few of them to actually get there.
Oh.
I have entire face in my palette.
Yeah, the way he's described asteroid fields, I was like, that's like when they say, there's lots of fields in the area.
A couple of hills too.
Yeah. It's renowned for its features.
There's probably some space sheep nearby. No. Yeah, so you're going to have to push off away from the sun, sort of pushing out towards the outer limits of the solar system or the array system.
I can do that. Do I need to make a piloting check, or is all that just really relaxed?
Not really.
To do it, yeah, I can just boop boop boop.
The asteroid fields might be a problem if you were under pressure trying to escape something, or trying to push away quickly.
What's the sort of light wavelengths like on Jello?
It's, from what you can tell from the information that you've been given by Razia, it is pretty hot there, so you're expecting a fair amount.
Color distribution, is it?
Is
it a yellow sun, a white sun?
Yeah, you'll need your foundation.
That's my concern.
Exactly.
Yeah,
because you can't wear yellows on a planet which has got a white sun or a blue sun, but you don't want to wear blues on a planet with a yellow sun because it looks washed out and green.
She needs the right color palette. Absolutely.
Yeah. I have to know what palette I'm working with.
It's
I'm safe.
Unfortunately for you, it's a mixture of like a yellow sun, pretty much like our own, but there's also a smaller blue sun.
Oh wow!
We're gonna make it
very
difficult.
That means
come up with a color palette for that.
That's blues and purples then.
Yeah.
I just love that idea. Oh, there's a yellow sun. Oh, there's the blue sun that's going past.
Not pastels.
No, not pastels.
No.
You need bold statement colors. Pastels are for people in the background. I'm
just imagining like Max sitting in his like crappy chair, but it's like, it's his chair, and he's just sipping some chamomile, and he's like, I'm so relaxed, and I'm waiting when Lewis is going to shatter my relaxed state and make me start panicking, but it's all okay.
No. At the moment, you're just gliding through fields of asteroids.
So peaceful.
You've got.
That's fine. Just Mac, don't hit any of the asteroids. It'll be fine. Not a problem.
Hit the asteroids. Oh, if I do hit the asteroids. Oh, I mean, have you seen what happens when the ship hits an asteroid? I mean, I've seen it. It's not good. Oh no, now I'm panicking again. Fuck the tea.
Yeah, yes, it's like you see.
Did you fix that power drain thing?
And the shower.
Oh no, the power drain.
The shower as well.
Oh my god,
the power drain we need the power drain we need to fix when we've landed, because we need to either need to access it internally to go through or externally from the hull.
Yeah,
so. Never tell him the odds, not because you don't care, but because he's gonna panic about it.
The anti-solo.
There's absolutely nothing to panic.
88% you'll succeed. Oh,
absolutely nothing to panic about, Mac. It's just that we don't know what it's doing.
Yeah, no, that's right. I mean, it could be a bomb, or it could be a tracker to some bombs, or it could be a magnet that attracts bombs, or it could be some device that activates a bomb near some bombs.
There's a 0.1% that it's a bomb. Oh no, we're doomed.
I mean, is it possible it's a bomb? I mean, like, if you're talking about percent, yeah, like 0.01%. Oh my god!
At this point, you're sort of gliding free of the second asteroid field you've passed. There's a third one coming up with a fair amount of distance in between, and your proximity sensors start to go off, and you notice a ship off to the side.
It's okay. They're not bandits. Not space bandits. Not space bandits.
Big enough that that you've immediately picked it up, even coming out of a dense asteroid field. And the moment you slide past, you also you pick up two smaller signatures of something akin to
Jolly Roger sticking it, like, oh no,
akin to gunboats alongside it, but it's pretty big. And the moment you pick it up on your sensors, you also notice that it must have picked you up, and it starts to turn slightly and trail off towards you as it moves in rather slowly. Not really in a threatening manner. It's just sort of continuing on its way, but making sure it passes you by as it does so.
It seems an asteroid has broken free. Look at that piece of shit. Oh no, that's a ship! Oh my god! Look how terrible it is! I'll figure that over the comms. Oh.
Maybe we should put them out of their misery.
It has to be derelict. There's nothing could be surviving on that. So they're not like hailing us or like, hey, get the fuck out
not
of here.
At the moment, but they're still pretty far out. It's that kind of size of ship that you noticed it right at the edge of your sense.
Okay. Guys, there's some ships, and they have guns, and one of them's pretty big, and they might be space bandits, or they might be space police, or they might be space armies, or they might be space. No, they're not shooting.
I don't care if they're not shooting and they're not hailing us. I don't care.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, no, it's fine. I mean, like, we've got weapons. I mean, we don't have weapons.
He is the captain.
I mean, we'll be able to. Yeah, the captain's always right. Yeah.
You've got a weapon. Yeah.
It's super glued on.
Just sort of slammed on the side.
I don't believe we have like rivers in that RPG.
No.
Like in
no. Right? Array is a pretty safe system as well. So
that should be fine. They're not shooting and they're not hailing us. It's fine.
Well, we'll just go on our merry way. But I'm sitting like with the wheel, just like
business as usual.
As it sort of thrusts towards you, you eventually get indicator tags up on your sensor display, as every ship sort of has a identifier that it pings out.
On the code or something.
And in this case, it appears to be a few Legion ships, one of which is a Legionnaire destroyer. That
not ready to tell.
And roughly at that moment, you get a sort of a ping up on the communique system. Seemingly they're as confused by your presence there as you are by theirs.
Captain, we're being hailed.
Yep, no, it's fine. I mean, someone should probably handle this. I mean, should I handle it?
Mac, you're just the pilot. Yep. Just try.
Okay, yeah. Okay, yep, I'm just driving.
Bring them up.
Okay, okay, I bring them up. Pop the little button.
You,
you good day, Fortune's Breeze. What can I do for you?
A fairly nondescript looking Legionnaire officer sort of staring at you.
That's the fuzz.
Yeah. And he goes, so what brings you to the array system?
Oh, that's never a good question. I say that out loud. Oh, that's never a good question. I'm sorry, I'll be quiet.
What rank is he? Can we see from his hollow appearance?
It's high enough. Fuzzy on your display side because your ship is a pile of rubbish.
Yeah, we know.
So it's not really a high res view of him, but you know that if they're high enough to be in command of a destroyer and contacting you, they're probably fairly important.
It's like the Metal Gear Solid like boop, kind of face thing. So it's like we know that they're a person, but like they're all like polygons and such.
And it goes, well, what brings you out this far as well from the portals and from the sun and from Array itself? You heading out towards the distant worlds, or?
I know we're just merchant. We're bound to the what's the name again?
Jello.
Jello. What kind of business is taking you there?
Okay, what kind of things we have on our ship? I believe we do have something, probably.
You travel about with small cargo a lot of the time. You finished a cargo drop before you arrived in Coriolis, but most likely you have a few bits and bobs lying around, so feel free to invent something.
Right, we are mostly coming in for selling carpets, man. Finding some business eventually.
We're just some carpet salesmen. Don't hurt us.
You see him look down at the display, and he's probably got a display reading of your ship on their
parts and supplies for the forest moon.
Far superior sensors. And he looks down and he goes,
I hope those codes are worth the price we've paid for.
And he briefly looks up at one of the other officers next to him, and I go, well, looking at it probably checks out.
Look at that, like,
yeah,
it's an old code.
Who would go and sell carpets on Jello? So
these people look like.
These people don't look like they're that sensible based on their ship. And he goes, well, okay, but keep an eye out. There's been a fair bit of trouble lately with smugglers running here and there. If you see anything, let us know. We'll be patrolling the area, the system, and we've been contracted to patrol the system for the next few days.
Anything for the Legion?
Yeah. Otherwise, have a safe journey. And
thank you very much.
Cuts the communique before.
He said smugglers. He said smugglers. There are smugglers out here. They're gonna kill us. They're gonna find us and kill us.
The destroyer and the two gunboats cut right across you, knowing that they'll get past in time. But just as
how rude. Yeah.
A sort of show of look how big our ship is compared to your tiny ship. And they float by or thruster by, and you get
they have more guns on the landing gear than we have on the ship.
I bet you they've got a sticker on the side saying my other spaceship is a Porsche.
Show off.
Yeah.
You get rocked about a bit in the turbulence after their thrusters go past, but other than that, they seemingly forget about you rather quickly and move on. It's
all right.
Patrolling around the asteroid belts.
We might need to keep some tabs on where they are next time we.
Well, given what we know and who we know, I would suggest that there are other interested parties in the area, particularly with an interest in Wahid.
Interested parties, like the people that stopped us at the ship.
Well, no, not them, because they think we're going to deliver to them, don't they?
Yeah, no, but like them, like those scary people.
If they're willing to contract the Legion to come out here for a couple of days with a destroyer, the beer value of that is significant. So there are wealthy, interested parties.
Oh no!
From what you know of Jello, for the value of a destroyer, they could probably buy half the planet.
Yeah.
So it is surprising to find a ship patrolling that far out in what is
especially a destroyer,
a very safe system.
Now I'm quickly realizing this. I'm like, oh god, the people that must be out here are just like the scariest people in the entire galaxy. Oh no, they're gonna kill us.
Yes, you're probably right, but I imagine on top of that we're looking at people with some political clout as well, and a nearly infinite supply of cash if they can afford to send the Legion out.
Oh god, they have power and money, two things we don't have. No.
But what we do have, Mac, is
tea.
This ship, which in no way could possibly ever be mistaken for a smuggler.
No, but what if a smuggler comes and smuggles us?
They'd need a very large ship to do so.
Well, you saw that how big that ship was. Maybe they've got a big ship.
Maybe.
At this point, I'm gonna leave.
You're also by this point. You're also sort of your ship is gliding through the route you've chosen to fly through the last asteroid field, and beyond it, you find a big beigey brown marble hanging in space that. your sensors indicate is Jallo.
Fine, yeah, we'll get to Jallo.
At this point, I'm going to be leaving Shana's do the job of comforting, reassuring / something else the pilots, and go back
No, I've
to
just
the
seen the color of the planet. It doesn't work with what I'm wearing. I need to change.
Have to change.
And there you go, and you're leaving Mac with his thoughts. Oh God.
I'm going to try to pick up the latest news about the planet.
As you get closer, you also notice a few largish specks of blue, which you assume are what little water the planet has on the surface. And the indications that Razia gave you is that the city of Kumul is located along one of those large blue pools. But by now, the orbital
are we in
station,
comm range?
Yeah, the orbitals station is definitely in comm range because
so we could bounce signals from the orbital stations down to the planet.
Most traffic passes through there, or most ships dock there and then take shuttles down.
Of course, yes, you said.
Yeah.
But our ship was a special one because it can land, which was the advantage that we had. Yes, I remember now.
If you want to land it.
I should note that my character does have a level 4 communicator, which allows them to communicate from space.
Yeah.
So if we have someone on the ship, it's the size of a backpack. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big bulky thing that you can take with you, but the ship itself also has a big communicator on it.
But doesn't that suit Mac's character? I'm taking the communicator. We might need it. It's the size of you. No, we might need it. Just let me take it, okay?
Yeah, I didn't get all the things about communicators. A bit odd. I think.
Yeah, each
I've got the comlink. In my sheet, it says that I have a comlink 5, but.
Yeah, well, comlinks are more, if I remember correctly, more internal.
Oh, is that different than communicator?
Communicators are like radios, so to speak. So they have a bigger distance.
They all have ranges based on one is just a short range sort of thing that it's basically like more of a walkie-talkie kind of thing. Then you have 2s, which are like telephones, which is pretty much what most people have carrying around. I think 3 can
go across
the planet. 4 can go into space.
Yeah.
And then a level 5 can communicate across systems via the portals.
But they are huge. Yeah, I can't carry that on my back. Well, maybe I could, but it was hard.
You'd need a trolley to push it
very
around. Very
expensive as well, because you have to pay to use them over large distances.
And that's the other difficulty, is carrying enough 50p coins around to be able to put it in.
50 bars, just little.
And I only have 500, so I've got 10 minutes.
You have to slot in. Right,
well, I shall start contacting the usual courtesan networks in system and see what's what. I don't want to step on any toes, but I shall let the premier houses on world know that I'm arriving and available for contract.
Immediately gives you a kind of sense of the planet, as you only get 2, maybe 3 proper replies. And they're all spread out across the various cities on the entire planet. There doesn't seem to be one. They're all independent groups, 2 or 3 independent groups, and they reply to you with standard greetings, but they seem more or less taken aback that someone of your standing should be passing by these parts.
Station 7.
So are we landing, or are we parking it here and we're going to go down the shuttle? Like what
you can you can pretty much choose. You can either choose.
I think we should land because you need to get whatever it is in or on the ship off the ship, and if we park it somewhere else, then they could just stick another one on. Whereas if we go down to the planet, it's available for a speedy exit should that be needed, and at the same time suitable for repairs.
okay, yeah, no, that's fine. I mean, yeah, but what if we get space mugged? Like we could get.
We
space
won't be
mugged
getting
there.
space mugged because we'll be on a planet, so it'll be regular mugging.
Oh, well, that's fine. I mean, it's just regular. Oh my god, it's regular mugging. We could get regular mugged. Oh no, and what if those what if
Mac, do you have anything worth taking?
Yeah. At this point, the
I've got
ball is moving towards you.
I've got my communicator. I've got my space suit. I've got tons of stuff.
Okay, question. Maybe I need to roll something for that. Would it make us seems a bit more suspicious if we do land off the planet and not stay at the station as many people do?
Well, it will definitely be somewhat of a surprise. It happens, but there aren't as many orbital capable ships as you'd imagine. Coriolis, pretty much a lot of the time, your ship, the big ships, they all dock at each planet has an orbital station. They dock there, take shuttles down, and ferry back and forth. Most ships don't really have the capability to land on planet. And a lot of the time, the
real question is that going to attract attention?
Planet are more made for shuttles.
Is it going to attract very much attention, or just okay, that's just another ship that can go there and whatever?
In as far as you wouldn't otherwise attract attention on a planet that is as
it'll just look like we're being cheap.
Shallow. Yeah.
Okay, then okay.
They get traders. It happens all the time.
Let's land.
Okay.
Is that something? Is that would be something very, very, very unusual? I would be maybe.
Well, it'd be I imagine it's when you see a boat on the motorway. It's I don't see them very often, but you know that it's possible. You just most people leave them in harbour.
Fair enough. Yeah.
So yeah, I'll land there. I don't have to do.
We're driving all the way to work instead of getting the park and ride.
Yeah, all that kind of stuff.
So driving halfway and then
get all the clearance you need and
parking all your separate vehicles and getting into one vehicle and pretending that, which is a bad idea. In any event, you'll have to roll a piloting check.
That's absolutely fine. As I said, it's my only maybe decent stat, depending on how well I do. Right, I have 5.
Wow, because it really sounds like he's about to jinx himself.
I'm rolling 8. I've got to get some kind of success, even if it's a mild success. I would hope. If not,
is there anything on the news network?
Strangely, you're sort of heading towards this area that is marked on Razia's pad, called the Skeleton Coast, which is along one of the the big Azure lakes that are pretty much seas. They're the size of seas, but because everything is surrounded by sand and dust, it's a lake.
Skeleton something?
The Skeleton Coast. And the city of Kummel is against the sea with its back to the Skeleton Coast.
I got 2 successes.
You've got 2 successes. Very nice. So the ship starts to enter orbit, and the view screen in front of you begins to flash red, and it gets brighter and hotter, and it judders even worse than when you took off from Coriolis station, because you know it can handle it, but you're not sure how many more times it will be able to handle it before something falls off inevitably.
And this is all running through my mind as I do it.
I'm pretty sure it's going through your mind even when the ship is not shaking.
Oh yeah.
And as you slowly move in, you get picked up by the Kummel's shuttle port, which will no doubt be your destination, and they ask if you require a landing pad access.
Yes, please. We're doing quite well. It's just I'm panicking. Well, not panicking.
A sort of distracted, semi-bored voice comes back over. Yeah, all right then. I'll I'll send you the coordinates through. We'll get that straight to you.
Okay.
There's
Have
two
a nice
pads available. Just pick one. Pick one.
Okay, thank you.
Don't land on the third one. There's already something on there.
Yep. No, I won't do that. No, sir. No, sir. No, Bob. No, sir. No, Bob. No, sir. No, Bob. Bob, sir. No. Thank you. Have a nice day.
And as
do you
you
need
fly
a guided
in,
descent?
fly in towards Kumul, you see this sort of sand-blasted, white-housed buildings. Well, white buildings that have. Some of them are fairly new. There seems to be a sprawl outwards that are all new buildings, but then there's this center and off to the side where the spaceport is, where all the buildings are pretty much, if you were to take a guess, probably pre-Zenithian. They look old and they look like they've been in the heat for a very long time. And that's roughly the area where you're going to be landing.
Okay. And I shall land the ship down as gracefully as 2 successes will allow me to.
Okay. And I am going to use a couple of my darkness points to
we will say apparently there's an Indian drug called Arash that makes you calm. Could be handy.
At the last moment, as you're heading for one of the 2 pads,
I'm just coming down. I'm like, oh, it's gonna be okay.
One of the thrusters gets that sort of finicky edge to it. That you have sometimes because you've been fiddling about with them every now and then trying to but at some point you put new thrusters on the side of the ship just because the old ones probably stopped working or fell off it wherever you were. But one of them sputters a bit and you briefly lose control, so I'll let you roll a piloting test or -1 for that.
Come on.
We're gonna need
Mac, what are you doing to our ship?
You're close enough now that
are you happy, Lewis? I failed. Okay.
You're close enough now that you're not gonna just plant the ship straight into the sand or something and kill everyone on board. But you're probably gonna land quite bumpily, and you may potentially scratch up some stuff.
And who's gonna have to fix it, Mac? Me, not you.
Can we have this argument once the ship is stopped, please?
We should get some of that drug, like some sort of EpiPen, put that into boxes with a glass and in case the pilot panics too much.
The Fortune's breeze lurches slightly to the side, and rather than landing entirely on your landing gear that you let out, it scrapes along the side, and a bit of the thruster gets bent inwards as sort of crunches into the landing pad.
That's true. If you need to, you have a reroll now.
No, it's fine. I'll let it be statistic.
Shuttleport's operator comes on again. Do you need any help down there?
I have to peel my hands off the steering wheel, this indentation's no, we're okay. Oh, fucking hell.
I'm alive.
Sorry, guys. I think one of the thrusters splattered.
It happens.
Yeah, it's fine. I trying to get out of the chair.
I'm in the lounge. I'm gonna shake my head. No one's gonna see that, but
it's okay. We're all alive. I think. Yeah, we're all alive.
Yeah. You've landed in the shuttle port, and basically there's a couple of smaller landing pads for orbital shuttles, and then there's 3 slightly bigger ones that are usually also used for orbital shuttles, but in this case you're on one of them. Another one is empty, and then a little further down there appears to be a second ship landed already.
The competition's here then.
Right. What competition?
Maybe.
Where? What's happening? I think I blacked out for like a second. Just a second. Oh God. That was terrifying.
Okay, where do we go from here?
That is a good question.
I ask myself that on a daily basis. Reaches for some tea.
So
is it tea?
In the literal context of the mission we are currently undertaking, where do we go now?
Right. Okay.
The only time he has some real tea is in the morning after stasis.
It's fine. Okay.
Azir has given you a run through of the place on the data slate the information she provided, and that includes a few of the areas where you're most likely to find, for instance, Mahmoud is probably in the constabulary. The cargo is very close to where you are now, they assume, at the customs and duties office. And then there's some general information on Kumal's old town, a bit of information on the sprawl that goes out from it with all the new buildings. And that is pretty much it. There's a few places here and there, tea rooms and the like, that have been indicated on the datapad or on the information. But other than that,
should we stick together or should we split up? There are a number of avenues available to us. There's the cargo, there's Mahmoud, there's our own ship, which needs dealing with.
Yeah, I'll stay with the ship and get the cargo. I think that's the safest.
We need information.
I will stay with the ship also to see if I can access whatever this thing is sucking the power.
Yeah, I'll help with.
Well, Captain, do you want to go after the legal shipment and see what the story is there, and I'll go and try and get Mahmoud out of prison?
That could be an idea, yeah. Doubtful that you can secure him, but at least if you can talk to him, that would be a good point.
I can either talk to him or find out what exactly it is that he's been arrested for.
Yeah, true. Both of these things are going to be helpful. If we could get him out, be my guest, but...
Well, I'll do what I can.
Okay, I'll get the safe shipment then.
I'm gonna inquire about that payload. I do have the reference for that. I'm just gonna check customs. That's gonna be the easiest way to go for that.
Roughly sort of late afternoonish now, when you upon your arrival.
Oh, so nobody's gonna go after what's his face? Not the guy in prison. The other
Wahid. Well, we got no leads.
Oh, okay, never mind then.
So if we go after the cargo and Mahmoud first, it might give us some leads.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah,
I could perhaps look for some leads in the local culture and color.
Fix ship.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
When Shanaz leaves, you can leave as well. She won't know.
Once you get that, once you got that thing out of the ship, you can do whatever you want.
Well, someone's
that was
now
a bad idea.
Now I've got to have a look at a certain.
He's gonna do the things he wants anyway. So.
Well, I've now got to look at the cost on the side of the ship because of that landing.
Sorry. Well, the landing gear is probably going to need to be checked as well, honestly. It's probably halfway in the space equivalent of tarmac.
That would be great if we can get out of here, if we need to.
Oh, okay. I'll
so big patent dupatta, large parasol, very large dark glasses, and I shall get a taxi or a rickshaw or some form of conveyance.
So you're going to the constabulary?
Yes.
Most likely. Yeah. As Shanaz sits in the back of a less than swanky rickshaw, being dragged along towards the constabulary, you sort of notice that there isn't really anyone else about that you can see. It's coming towards late afternoon, but you'd imagine that most of the shops would still be open. People would be still moving about, coming to or from work, that kind of thing. Every now and then you pass by a big pile of wood along the side, which is probably pretty expensive on a planet like this, but there doesn't appear to be anyone near it. There are a bunch of stalls set up all around, but there's no one at them at the moment. They're all closed. And you move through this vaguely eerie, calm before the stormish kind of town until you reach a squat building where the old city meets the new sprawl that is growing out of it. And you can see it's a constabulary straight away because it's flat, it's imposing, it's made to defend with big walls. Everything about it just says that this place is fairly threatening, and the people within it don't want you to get in, or if you're in, they don't want you to come out again without a fair amount of trouble.
Okay, I shall pay the driver and head in. Talking on my phone, but not actually talking to anybody, just talking on my phone.
As you head in, a small gaggle of people start leaving. And they're pretty much the first people, other than the rickshaw driver and the spaceport officials, well, the shuttle port officials that you've seen so far on the planet. They all appear to be in civilian clothing, just normal kaftans and things like that. And they're all pretty intent on leaving as quickly as possible. And there's one rather upset looking, rather disgruntled looking constable sat behind a desk at the front as you come in.
Is there a bell in front of him?
There is, but it's currently covered by his body armor, which he's taken off and just flung there. His pistol is lying there as well. And he appears to be randomly tapping away at a small information unit in front of him.
Well, I'll have half a conversation loudly in front of him for a few minutes until he stops tapping and starts paying attention to me.
He looks up briefly and sighs.
I'll just hold a finger up to make him wait for a minute. And then I'll finish the half a conversation I'm having with nobody.
To tapping away, but sort of with half an eye directed towards you, but just looking away at his screen.
So I'll finish my conversation and turn to him and just go, Mahmoud?
No, I'm Nadim. What brings you to the constabulary on this day?
I'm here for Mahmoud.
Mahmoud? Oh, the one in the cell.
Yes. Terrible embarrassment.
An embarrassment, you say? And then his eyes sort of light up at the idea that something interesting might be going on.
Yes. He's brought shame on all of us. It's appalling. I've half a mind to leave him here.
Well, I mean, he's not the first person who's been arrested over a few faulty or illegitimate cargo shipping manifests. And
he's a very foolish boy.
Well, I guess so, but you know.
What's required? What's the fine?
The fine? Oh, it's not my case. And he turns away behind him, And in the background, there appears to be only one other constable in the entire building, which is pretty much made with sort of seats and offices for about 20. Sitting completely upright, tapping away furiously at a little computer unit in front of him, and goes, it's Gabriel's case. You might want to talk to him, but yeah, I'll be careful with that one.
If I must, I mean, you seem a far more reasonable individual, but if I must speak with him, then so be it. The less people know about this, the better.
He scratches at his face and sort of sighs slightly and goes,
so I should lean in.
Gabriel gets off in, I think, about another couple of hours. If you should happen to lose some burr on your way out, I might be able to arrange for you to be able to see Mahmoud in a bit.
That sounds agreeable. Perhaps I should speak with the young man as well. If it's his case, I'll need to know the details so that I can forward it up to the family for resolution.
Okay. If you really want it, don't mention.
No, of course not.
He's no fun.
No, you can tell.
Gabriel, and the man continues working as if he's used to this pest at the front annoying him all the time. Gabriel, there's someone here for you. And he looks up, sees you, puts on his biggest scowl, stands up almost completely rigid and straight, and marches down towards you. Compared to Nadim, Gabriel has, even though was sitting at his desk, he has his gun strapped to his side. He has his armor strapped on, which is basically just an armored body vest. And he walks straight up to you. How can I be of assistance?
I wish to speak with you, please, officer, if you would be so kind. Is there somewhere we can speak more privately?
This is a constabulary. There's plenty of private rooms, of course.
Thank you so much.
Is it about a crime?
Yes.
And he sort of ushers you away into one of their well, it's a mix between an interrogation room and where they just generally make.
Thank you so much for your discretion. It's a terrible thing, a lady of my standing having to come to a place like this on behalf of another. It's very embarrassing. I hope that you won't think any less of me because of it.
Madam, no matter what has happened, we at the Kumul Constabulary, it is not our place to judge people. It is our place to uphold the law. At that point, I'm going to skip over to Sirius.
I was just about to say the same thing. I'm hogging the limelight.
Yeah. So, Sirius, you were going to head to the Customs and Duty Office, which isn't all that far away from the shuttle port. So it's basically a street or two further down. You wind down the same kind of empty streets that Shanaz experienced on her rickshaw ride. And yeah, there's a weirdly eerie sense here that there's no one about. Since leaving the shuttle port, you haven't seen anyone. But most of the shops you've passed by are closed as well. But as you come to the customs office, it appears to be open still for the moment. You can see a light on in the back, and the door hasn't been barred yet.
Going in.
The moment you step in, you see a single woman in the whole place, and she appears to be busily turning computers off and shutting things down and stuff. And she occasionally looks up to you and quickly looks back at the things she's turning off and tries her best to imagine that you're not there.
I'm gonna. Excuse me, please.
No. We're closing. We're closing now. It's closed. You'll have to come back. You'll have to come back in a few days. You can't come in now. And almost physically starts pushing you out the door and starts tapping at a little electronic sign near it that you didn't notice on the way in that says closed for the Festival of Nye, and taps away and it fizzes slightly.
Fizzes?
Well, their technology is pretty much as junk as your technology.
I see.
And so when she touches it, sort of slightly at her touch, and then
you close for days. That's very impractical. But what is going on here?
It's the festival. You can't come in now. It's the festival. We're closing. I'm the last person here.
Who are you? Are you able to give me information just quickly? I'm sorry to bother you. I've been traveling 2 systems to get there on behalf of my employer.
She appears to physically deflate and sort of stares at you blankly in the vague hope that you'll just go away. And I'll let you roll a manipulate roll to try and convince her to get anything done.
Limited success.
Oh. Look, I can't help you now. I've just shut everything down. There's no way. I'm not starting it all up again. We'll be here we'll miss the start. We'll miss the start of the festival. No one wants to miss the start of the festival. I tell you what, if you're pressed, come back tomorrow morning. Not too early. Don't come too early. Come back tomorrow morning and we'll take a look at whatever it is.
Sure, that would be very nice. Thank you very much. Where does this festival happen?
It's everywhere. Just the streets fill with dancing, bonfires. There's food. I mean, she sort of looks at you then and realizes you're probably not from Jallo, and
just told I come from 2 systems away, but
yeah, but she wasn't paying attention at that point because she was just trying to get you out the door, and 2 systems away, you say? Well, why would you want to come here now?
That's not really my call. I'm getting paid to do job, and I have to do it. But I guess at least I gotta get to enjoy the festival here, and also, yeah, maybe not so much of a loss.
Well, you picked the best possible time to come for a festival then, because it starts tonight, and the Festival of Nye usually runs for 3 days and 3 nights.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not sure I can say I would be staying for that long, but who knows?
Well, we should probably leave so that I can close up.
Yeah, sure.
Already moving towards the door with the keys in her
Thank
hand.
you very much again. I shall see you tomorrow then.
Yeah. Not too early though. Don't come.
Of course.
Don't come in the afternoon though either, because I want to be back at the festival by then. But not too early.
Sure. Thank you very much.
And she pretty much pushes you out of the door. And
at this point, I'm gonna go away. So
closes it in front of you, staring at you through the window, which is still open in the door, and locks it. Then slowly starts closing the blinds.
Who's that guy? But that's the one with me.
Pretty much like any retail worker who has a customer right as they're closing, and it's fairly fair. And then we'll skip over to Mac and Ari. What are you doing?
At this point, I'm going to go back to the spaceport.
So for clarity, Sirius was going to deal with the actual cargo.
Yeah. He's gone to the customs office to inquire about the cargo. Shanaz went to the constabulary to inquire about Mahmoud.
Well, see, in my head, I thought, well, cargo's just there. We can go take it. But then I realized that that's not how cargo works, and that's just
cargo is probably currently impounded. As far as you know.
Okay. We'll be dealing with the power
I
drain.
would say mistakenly impounded. Obviously.
I will help Ari with the power drain and then maybe the repairs, but my tech skill is not that great.
Right, neither's mine.
Well, our powers combined, hopefully. Do you want me to go out, or do you want to be in here, or how do you want to do this?
Well, I think we've decided that last time we took a look at this, that it'd be easier to access from the inside.
Okay, yeah.
So we'll try that first without, breaking any major systems. And then we can take a whole work and see what damage has been done to the external thruster.
Okay, yeah. This will go fine. We won't break any parts of the ship. It will be fine. Yeah,
No, it'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Have you seen my tea?
No, I haven't seen your tea. This is where you freak out like, we need my tea! Okay, so that's wits and tech, yeah?
Right, hold on.
Sorry.
I need to get my...
I'm going to make you both roll for that, and you both require a success.
8 successes? No.
Okay. 52.
Yeah, I'm only rolling 6 dice. Or dice.
A success each will help.
So I'll just roll.
And a couple of critical successes would be great. But we'll see.
I got 3.
That's a critical success.
Yes. Looks like everything. I mean, I did smash the ship into the port, so I guess my luck has turned eventually.
And Ari also got a limited success, so that seemed to work out quite well for you. So, tell me what you're doing roughly.
I'm probably sticking, I imagine Ari goes, takes the thing off, and I just stick my hand in to seem, to feel around. It's like I did last time, but now I know what I'm looking for. I guess the reason for the critical success is just I know what I'm actually trying to grab this time.
So Ari takes a panel off and opens up another side panel, and you can pretty much get your arm in up to the shoulder, part of your torso, and you grab hold of something that you can feel is out of place. It's a big blocky kind of thing, and it appears to be wired into your ship systems with a couple of wires with 2 clamps that they've cut into the wires and clamped it on.
What is it?
You'll have to pull it free to find out.
Yeah.
Okay.
You pull me while I'm holding on to oh boy, this doesn't require strength, does it?
As you pull it, no, you can pretty much pull it out, but the implication there was obviously if it's a bomb, it would blow up in your face, killing you.
That's fine. I've just done it.
But you were fine with that, seemingly. So okay.
I'm working on the logic that if someone wanted to blow us up, they could have done it a long time ago.
I think they would
there
have
have been many opportunities.
Click.
It's a roughly square box with 2 connector clamps on it, and when you pull it out, you see a few green lights flicker and then die out, and it just goes completely still.
Ticking. No.
I
take it apart to figure out what it is.
Yeah, you can roll a tech skill for that.
I've got a toolkit advanced. What does that do?
That gives you a bonus.
Give you bonuses on your rolls.
And
is that taken into account when
toolkit is 2?
Yeah.
So how do I add that to my roll?
It's just dice. So that's
at the top of your
you mean
character.
Yeah, you've got modifier on top of the character sheet in there.
At the top of your character sheet, you have modifiers positive, negative. If you add 2 to the positive,
which I like,
then
just
roll your.
It just adds dice
skill. Well,
make a technology roll.
Yeah.
There we go. Critical success.
Critical success.
Excellent.
Oh, nice.
When you pull the casing off and start fiddling about with the insides, it fairly quickly becomes apparent that it was a transceiver that was using your ship's power to let someone know roughly where you were. And
so I'll lay it out on the table. Look like I've already figured out what it is, but I'll be making a show of kind of about it.
I'm
a swig of tea.
Yeah,
I'm going back and forth.
I've never seen anything like that before.
It takes a keen intellect.
Yes. So it's a tracking device.
A tracking device.
That's fine. But don't worry, we've deactivated. It's deactivated.
It was.
Oh, okay.
It suddenly powers up again and explodes now.
A tiny little robot arm shoot out and start strangling us, and we're like, "Oh god!"
Why don't you work on putting those panels back, and I'll go and see what we need to do outside.
So then it's bring legs and jump at your face.
Yeah, I'll fix up the ship while the panel that we've removed while you do that.
Ari, as Mac fixes up the panels, are you wandering off into town or are you looking at the thrusters?
Well, I'm actually going to be first taking an opportunity to refill my tea flask. Because frankly, taking a swig of it this morning, it's got all the alcohol left over,
You're definitely not cold bottle.
From the mix of stuff that came into effect when we were at that, so it's probably disgusting. So I'll wash it out. And then it also occurs to me that I've got a lot of crap in my pockets as well for some reason. And
magic ring that makes you invisible.
Cake, all these bits of cake and food, and so that'll be coming out. And then I'm going to go out.
Magic ring that makes you invisible. The problem is that when you put it on, it kind of goes, and then you're invisible.
I did give a player in a game once a ring of invisible, and they were like, "What, a ring of invisibility?" I said, "No, a ring of invisible."
Yeah, I've done that.
It's a ring that's invisible. Nobody can tell you're wearing the ring.
Yeah. Well, isn't there like an item in D&D that does do that? But it does other stuff, but that's like a cool extra feature. So
no, it was just that. That was all it did. It was invisible.
Yeah.
Too bad it's not like a instance or something you can track someone with it.
Yeah, we're going to skip back to Shanaz, who's sitting in a little cubicle that's closed off, that they clearly use for interrogations as well as anyone who wants to report a crime.
Okay.
And pretty much don't have the space to make 2 separate rooms for that. So anyone coming in there naturally feels a bit uncomfortable, except Shanaz, who feels like she has an entire audience to herself. I imagine.
Officer Gabriel, I'm ashamed and embarrassed to come to you. You have a prisoner, a gentleman who works for a friend of the family by the name of Mahmoud. I understand that he has committed a crime on Jallo. From what I understand, it's improper paperwork, and I've come to try and smooth it out. The family are quite embarrassed. And
who told you it was improper paperwork?
Well, that was the impression I was led to believe when I left Coriolis on his behalf.
I see. So they didn't tell you anything about the 40 kilos of arash that they were smuggling in the back of
40 kilograms of arash. That's truly shocking.
For the most part is highly legal, but seemingly in Jallo they've decided to take offense to the idea.
Yeah, I think it's more that, he had like 400 packets of fags shoved down the back of the seat.
It's pretty much that kind of thing. It's like, it doesn't seem like a reason to make this much of a fuss about it.
Oh yeah, no, they're basically just turnips. Like they're the space equivalent of turnips, but they're like, oh my god, you can't have turnips on this planet. Yeah, I know.
Maybe tobacco turnips, but yeah.
Tomaccos.
What's the
tomaccos?
What's the actual value of that?
It wouldn't be super high.
It's basically weed, isn't it?
It's the kind of thing
semi-legal weed. It's not a big deal.
Everyone kind of smokes in their hookah pipes and stuff.
He was like profusely sweating when they came to him, like, "Oh, can we just check your cargo?" Is that necessary? Yeah, it's fine. You don't have any drugs. Yeah, no, I don't have any drugs on me.
That's quite an amount, but I would have thought that arash itself was not that severe as to warrant a lengthy stay in prison, surely.
And you can see he looks disgruntled at the entire idea of the situation. The legality of its use is, it's commonplace, I suppose. But in this case, it was also not declared.
I understand. I quite understand. That was the story that I'd been told, was that there was undeclared cargo due to a paperwork mishap. I didn't realize that we were talking about semi-medicinal substance as well. And that's just more embarrassing. I'm so ashamed. I'm so sorry.
If it were up to me, we'd crack down, especially at this time of year. There's with the festival.
Oh, there's a festival coming up, is there?
It's looks around. Like, it's today. The festival of Nye. It starts in about an hour, roughly.
Oh, marvelous!
Something like that.
Marvelous. Oh no, but that means that you won't have anybody on duty to advance the case. Paul Mahmoud may spend days in prison.
I'll be here.
I want to go to the world's Ben's from where the police just take all their days off on holiday.
No. Gabriel basically gives you the opposite information of the sort of idea that Nadim had given you. He's quite adamant that he's going to be on duty for the next 3 days.
We'll leave.
That's a very noble sacrifice that you've made, officer. To protect the people at the cost of your own happiness is the highest of duties and the greatest of respect is owed. I hope your superiors understand your value.
my superiors would probably be at the festival. I mean, you most likely saw them as you came in. They've left myself and Officer Nadim in charge of the constabulary here.
So they've left you in charge, really?
I wouldn't dare speak of.
No, I understand.
Officer Nadim's is very much
for
the
you.
Same
Law
rank
is the
as
highest
myself.
duty, and I sense that your companion may be in it for the overtime, perhaps.
He shuffles slightly around at that. It's clear that Gabriel is not going to admit whatever he's thinking about Officer Nadim. But it's no, that person is my colleague, and therefore,
of course, I
never
quite
say
understand.
anything untoward about them whatsoever, no matter what kind of arsehole I really think they are.
You're a man of great honour, sir. You are. I wonder, is there a fine or some kind of way that we can post bail for Mahmoud so that he could be released onto my recognizance? We're not going anywhere. Our ship is damaged. It just seems to leave him languishing in jail for such a long period of time.
Well, to be honest, in extremis, the punishment is 2 to 3 years. However, the paperwork is currently delayed because of the festival. The judge is apparently also on leave.
Holy shit, this sounds awesome.
He seems distinctly grumpy at that idea as well, that he's basically left as the only law enforcement on the entire city.
I see. Do you think this will warrant the highest level of punishment? Obviously, as an off-worlder, Mahmoud would not be quite as familiar with local ordinances as maybe someone from Jallo might be.
It's not my. I'm a constable. It's not my place to pass judgment upon crimes committed. It's my place to enforce the law.
I understand.
And the law in this case is that Mahmoud remains your colleague. Is it your acquaintance? Mahmoud remains imprisoned until such point as a judge allows him released on bail, or otherwise warrants his release in general. And you get the feeling that he probably assumes that's where this is going, but Gabriel is kind of happy in a way that he's disgruntled that the judge is on leave, but he's kind of happy that it implies that Mahmoud won't get out so quickly.
Yeah, you're barking up the wrong tree. You're not going to be like, ooh, did I just drop 100 bar? Whoops,
oh God,
daisy.
no, I'm not trying to bribe this guy. This guy, I've got this guy. This guy is a job's
yeah.
worth. I'm not bribing him.
Right.
That's why I'm playing the innocent and the victim and the poor me at this guy.
Can I just say,
you know why they left him?
Yeah.
We're not taking him to the festival.
I wonder if I might be allowed to speak with him.
Technically, he's already had visitation.
Would that be legal counsel?
No, not as far as I know. They were other acquaintances.
That's unusual. I would have thought he didn't have
really
any
unpopular.
acquaintances here.
They seem to be off-worlders, much like yourself.
Oh, I see.
I would.
I hope I haven't wasted my journey.
He's not entirely resistant to, you're much better, more upstanding kind of person than he's used to dealing with, or you come across that way in any event. I suppose.
Bar and Mithra. I'm the highest born person this jumped up little Johnny Posh Socks has ever met.
The problem is Gabriel has probably never heard of a Dabran Mithra. So
no, probably not.
Yeah.
To him, you're just some posh-looking off-worlder. That's like, kind of
who takes
impressive.
him seriously. The first person.
Finally, someone who respects the law.
Can I just say, best holiday ever. all authority dissolves for this festival. There's no mayor. There's no hospitals. It all just evaporates.
They're all just outside.
And whoever is conscious by the end of the festival, they get to run those jobs.
If you look at Roll20, you'll get an idea of the festival there. Yeah. But he goes, well, I suppose in this case, since you come across as a far more upstanding person than the previous group to visit him, I believe Mahmoud could use some reflection from a person with his best interests at heart. I will allow a brief visitation.
You are too kind. Your generosity is a credit to the icons.
Namid. And you see Namid sort of bumble up from behind his computer where he was playing the Coriolis version of Solitaire. And he goes, yep. You wait here with... I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch your name.
Shanaz al-Bahia.
With Mrs. al-Bahia. And I will go get Mahmoud from cell 2. And he wanders off to, as Namid sort of sits down in front of you and goes, he's a pain, isn't he? And at that point, we'll cross back over to Sirius, who has just arrived back at the Fortune's Breeze.
Can people hear what's going on?
Also, for Twitch, yes, I did say the Festival of Nye.
Yeah, that festival dedicated to me.
You've got your Mac here, so...
yeah, so there you go. Yeah.
What a fitting festival where all civil union just evaporates for 42 hours.
No. It's more like 72.
Oh, wow, awesome. Is Ari already outside, or are we still inside doing the transmitter thing at this point?
Sirius has arrived back maybe 20 minutes after you got the transponder, the transceiver out of the ship, and Ari went outside. So I don't know what Ari has decided to do with that time.
I will be doing my job.
Okay.
I'm sure
in case you're looking over a bunch of twisted thruster outlets that are meant to open out to create difference in
Right.
Well, no, it's just you.
Time to get the sledgehammer.
As the thrusters push,
how do you get a dent
push
out
pressure
car,
out,
just
you have
smack it with a hammer.
Sections in there to
Okay,
sort of
so
increase
it sounds like
thrust.
I've got a bit of a job to do.
Yeah.
The
ship is still also mostly leaning on the landing gear on your left-hand side where the thruster dumped into the thingy. But the thruster, it sort of rocked back a little bit, so the thruster is off the floor now, but you're tilted. Definitely not a great position for
I
the
will
Fortune's
step
Breeze.
outside, see the damage, and walk back inside the ship and hope Ari can see me.
Ari is tutting to himself, huffing, making a very big deal out of it's not that big a job, but he's probably taking a couple of swigs from his tea, and then starts getting to work. This is more of a manual labor bit, I think.
I am going to activate your personal problem. At that point, the moment you take a swig of your tea, it's sort of the last few drops, and it's not even a mouthful, it's kind of like a quarter of a mouthful, and you distinctly remember from the information you were given that there are what are called tea houses around here, but they don't really serve tea. They serve any form of tea that also adds alcohol to it. So they have chais with rum in them. They have tea with alcohol and things like that. And you're pretty sure there's one, maybe a few blocks down, if you remember correctly, but you might not be remembering correctly.
Okay.
And those last few drops of alcohol are sort of evaporating on your tongue at that point.
Oh gosh.
Kilo is also on the menu. Thank you, Beowulf.
Perhaps I can operate some sort of reward system where if I complete one job, I can go and have one tea.
You did successfully take the transmitter out. We took the transmitter out and we worked out what it was. So
that counts as 2 teas then.
Yeah.
So if I finish doing the thruster, at least that's 3.
Yeah.
So I can go and do 3 teas. And then frankly, I should probably deserve another one.
Yeah. Having such good self-control.
From having to, deal with you anyway.
From having drunk the first 3 and then going, well, I might as well have another one.
So that's all good. I'm gonna knock out the thruster. I'll be leaving the landing gear. I will go on my swoop bike. Which is in the cargo hold.
Also, as a disclaimer for just in general for the show, don't drink and drive.
Yes,
but Ari is going to.
I'm technically flying. I think because
it's a grav bike, so you're sort of.
Don't drink and hover.
Don't hover. But I'll let you roll a technology roll. Would you say you're rushing through this job?
No, I feel I'm still the consummate professional.
Yeah, because someone will make fun of you if you don't do it right.
So I'll try and get this
then you
done
can roll
first,
a technology roll.
And then I will go. Can I use my toolkit?
Yes.
Yeah. You can pretty much use your toolkit whenever it's
relevant. Yeah.
So repairing stuff or
we don't want to go into space and be like and go and no hyperdrive.
Yeah.
One of the flaps was completely closed and bent in. You've twisted it free, and you've also managed to loosen out the servos on the side, so it opens up, closes again freely, and you're pretty sure after spending some time tinkering on all of the servos and all of the flaps that you can guarantee 100% thrust in as far as the Fortune's Breeze
can manage.
Will manage it, but it's not the best job you've done. You've literally you've bent the flaps back out to their open position.
I was using the hammer from the toolkit, basically just whacking it back into place.
They're sort of, rather than being straight and flat, they're sort of there's a distinct curve.
Yeah.
Well, they need replacing.
But you don't
need to replace the whole thing. I don't have the parts, so I've done my
and we'll let you skip off on your grav.
I'm going to ask Mac if he wants to come.
Serious. You're arriving roughly at that point.
It's fine. I'll stay with the ship. I'll guard the ship. Someone needs to guard the ship. That's a good reason. Yeah, I'll just stay right here. I'm already putting the seatbelt on, even though the ship's not even on. I'm just I'll stay here.
As you arrive at the ship, you see this sort of conversation, and Ari is already leaning over the grav bike.
Okay, what's the status? Have we got hold of that on our ship?
Yeah, we got it. It's Ari said it was a transmitter. I mean, we don't know what for. I mean, who knows?
Yeah,
Maybe
go
some smugglers or some bandits or smuggler bandits or like whoever, or maybe it's like some ne'er-do-well is following us. I mean, we don't know. I mean, it's deactivated, so they don't know we're here, but I mean, they know we landed here. So I mean, if we don't leave here soon, then they'll know we're here. So how did the cargo go?
Where do they care where we land? I mean, it's
I mean, I guess
obvious
that's true.
that we're gonna land here.
Unless they're like murderers.
What have you done with the transmitter?
Oh, it's all those little pieces over there. I already took it apart.
Is it still able to work?
Oh, you'd have to have someone put it back together, but yeah, like it could be switched on. But it's actually put back together. It's been completely like disassembled.
I see. Yeah, okay. Yeah, if we have the option to, might be able to, and we can put that back together. See if I can find. I see if I can find a battery somewhere that might come in handy at some point.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
think, yeah, no, but Ari probably should fix it. I mean, he was the one that took it apart. He'll know how to put it back together. How was customs? Customs.
Bloody mess. There's no one there.
Oh.
There was the one person here. She kindly agreed to be available tomorrow. They were closing. There's some kind of festival in towns, like pretty much the whole body town has already closed shop and is ready to attend or something. It's just we're not getting anywhere.
Oh, thank you. That's fine. It's fine. Yeah, I mean, there's nobody else here until they come here and they kill us. I mean, okay, it's fine. They're not here. I'm not going to die. I'm safe in my ship.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure what kind of succession as would have with talking to Mahmoud, but as far as we are concerned, cargo is no go for now.
You could potentially contact Shanaz on your communications.
Yes, that's what I was about to do.
Yeah, but no, I'm gonna wait that she makes contact because I don't want to.
She hates it. We used to, we would be like, Shanaz, and she'd be like, what?
I'm working.
I'm busy working.
Yeah. No, I'm letting her go about her business and contact us when appropriate.
And he told me to wait outside, but it's been 6 hours and I'm still waiting outside. I'm not your mom. Just go back to the ship. Oh, okay. Okay, we'll just wait for Shiz. Yeah, we just get Shiz.
Yeah. Ari, have you left now for?
Well, Mac didn't want to go, so yes.
you see Sirius turn up, and you're like,
like they do.
I've been waiting. See
you later, super losers.
Yeah, literally Mac went, nah, and then he was off. Like he was like, yeah, that's not a yes. So
yeah, you would notice that I haven't asked where he's going.
Yeah.
Hey, there's a festival on, man. I don't even know about it yet.
Yeah,
I'm probably just yell something like, "Hope the ship's fixed."
Yeah, I already fixed it, I think. Oh, actually, I would have gone out.
Probably haven't heard me with the noise of his thingy.
No. I think if he'd opened the storage thing, I probably would have gone out to say no, I'm not coming. So I probably would have seen the thruster specs. I've no idea about the landing gear, but so yeah, the thruster specs. Yeah, the thruster specs. So we should be able to take off.
Ari
the landing gear's still broken.
Pretty much sees a completely different city to Shanaz and Sirius when they left. It's starting to get a bit darker now, and over most of the city, the bonfires have been lit. There's people dancing in front of them, clearly trained dancing troops. The best that they could find across the entirety of Jallo have come here for the Festival of Nai.
Mm-hmm.
All of the food stores that were closed when Sirius and Shanaz passed by are now open and cooking pretty much anything you could imagine. There's drinks going around. There's large groups of people moving from bonfire to bonfire to see the entertainment, and just the fairly narrow streets are all packed with people. And you're trying to weave your grav bike through it.
I have to find somewhere to park. And then enjoy the festivities and find this tea house.
Yeah.
The fireman comes up. Sorry. Like, oh, this bonfire's not up to code, and everyone's like, oh, and they like tears off his stuff. It's like, but who gives a shit? It's the festival. Hey.
No, you kind of quickly find somewhere to drink just by the amount of people going into it and coming out of it with alcohol.
Or not coming out.
That's and people not coming out as well. You're pretty sure that it's one of the tea houses. It has a nice sign outside, and it mentions a variety of different tea specialities on the outside, and on the inside it mentions a fair amount of mixtures of alcohol as well that can be added to your tea.
Excellent.
Well, Builder is saying like Long Island iced tea.
When you go in, there's a mixture of people in there. There's people from the town who are clearly enjoying the festival. There's quite a lot of caravan traders as well in town. And these tea houses seem to be the kind of places that they frequent as well when they come in from the various other towns and the various mining facilities and things spread throughout Jallow. And there's just a big mixture of people. How drunk do you intend to get there? I'll ask that before we
I'd like to
Shanaz.
I'd like to think when I choose to pee, I'm a high functioning alcoholic. So we've still got the potential of having to leave, whenever. So I'm not going to get absolutely hammered. I will get to that inebriated, happy.
So drunk you can't say inebriated.
Yeah. So I'll try and get myself to that stage, and then I'll be kind of like, I'll take in the air and the night's atmosphere and festivities, and then I'll head back.
Okay.
In the whilst doing so, seeing if I get tailed or followed or.
Whilst you're still actually in the bar, a man comes and sits down next to you, and turns towards you and places a hand on your shoulder. And at that point, we'll go back to Shanaz.
Well, while I'm left with Lieutenant Negotiable Virtue.
Yeah. You know why they left him there as well. They were like, we'll leave him on a desk job somewhere that will probably be safest for the entire town.
I wonder, officer, if perhaps you might be able to let me know a few names. I'm curious to know the name of the judge who will be presiding over Mahmoud's case and the chief of police. Those would be something that an off-worlder like myself would find very, very useful. And I'm sure that a small administration fee would be perfectly reasonable under the circumstances.
Well, our chief, so to speak, is Zitani, but you don't want to cross. He's Gabriel. There's his little pet.
I see.
And they left me out for the festival as well. I'm not even getting paid overtime for this.
I can't believe that you wouldn't get overtime for this. That's so unreasonable.
It's once a year, and everyone else is gone. There's meant to be 20 of us. There's 2 of us. There's 18 people walking around there partying, and I'm not one
of them. They all did this, and he didn't realise what was going on. He's like, oh.
And the judge?
I suppose that'd be Hamza. That's the head judge for pretty much most of this region of Jallo.
Introductions are such important things in the business world, and people who facilitate them are so often overlooked. I'm incredibly grateful. Can I tag him over like 100 beer?
Yes, you can, but just to make it interesting, I'm going to let you roll for it, because at that moment the door starts to slide open as Mahmoud and Gabriel
slipped, and I said you 100 beer. Oh no!
Okay, what am I rolling?
That will be a
sleight of hand.
Yeah, it's going to be
dexterity
test.
That's how sci-fi we are on this. It's a sleight of hand, but she's putting money.
Has got a reroll. Will
you
use
can
it.
Pray.
Now I'm going to use my reroll.
No one's been praying.
Because that's pushing, and we know what happens when we push these things.
In Coriolis, it's not as bad, because basically, any fail, I get to decide what happens anyway.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're really benevolent.
Any fail is a 1.
when I drove the fucking
precisely. I could have tipped the whole ship.
Yeah.
It's just that he wants darkness points off us by pushing. That's the real reason.
Yeah, pretty much.
So I got a limited success to pass in a small consideration.
It turns out pretty well for you, because you hand him and he immediately sort of goes to yank it as he sees the door open. But Mahmoud is the first person to come in, followed by Gabriel, who has him by the scruff of the neck pretty much. But Mahmoud sees what's happened, sees that something shifty has gone on. And Gabriel behind him doesn't really notice. Right, here's Mahmoud. You have a visitor, Mrs. I forgot your name.
It's in the character list.
Al Bahia. Yeah. And he purposefully, by the way, says Mrs., even though, assumedly you're a miss.
Actually, quite.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. It's just, he's that kind of person who thinks that those are all important things that everyone should live their life by, these regulations that he's set out in his head. In any event, we'll skip over that and go straight on to Mahmoud. Notices you, and for a moment you see him look at you. Mahmoud's seen you before.
Yeah, but bear in mind I've got like a big headscarf and huge sunglasses.
You're completely out of context for him here, and he's clearly been through a bit of a situation.
Well, I'll take the glasses off when Mahmoud comes in.
Shanaz. And without even asking Gabriel, he sort of slides into the seat on the other side, and Gabriel looks kind of disgruntled at that point, but Namid goes, well, we've got surveillance in here. We'll leave you to discuss matters on your own.
Of course.
And you see him rather clumsily sort of counting out the burr in his hand as he walks
I don't think
out.
I've done it in cash. I would have done a tag transfer thing.
Yeah, but it's sort of...
Oh, I see, because he could still beep the numbers and see what I gave him.
Like, And Gabriel follows him up. Yeah.
I'm assuming that was a reasonable amount to bribe him.
Yeah, no,
the aim was for it to be reasonable towards
Someone's going to
extravagant.
give me 100 quid for not doing my job. I'd be like, holy shit, yeah.
I'm pretty sure if you ask Nadim something in the future, he'll probably be fairly willing for a certain amount of money to assist you with it.
Yeah.
Mahmoud is far more drawn and haggard looking than you're used to. He's always been like fairly tall, slender kind of person with a kind of jowly face, but now it's drawn in. It's haggard, and he's missed a few meals over the last week or two since he's been in here, and he's just generally stressed by the situation. Is what you're picking up, which happens when you're in prison.
So, Mahmoud.
Did Rasul send you, I take it?
Of course, yes. Our mutual friend sent me to render what aid we can. He's particularly concerned about his nephew.
When?
You see him take a deep breath, and for a minute there, he'd kind of been hoping like, yeah, they're here for me. This Rasul has sent out his finest people to rescue me, but obviously, logically, realized that probably wasn't the case. But now his hopes
I am hoping we can resolve your difficulty and take you with us. I will be bending all of my efforts to helping you in that regard, but I will need your help in exchange so that we can resolve all of the issues that our factor has sent us here to deal with. The cargo, yourself, and his lost nephew.
And Wahid, of course. You are icon sent. This is a blessing. This is truly...
I already have a few leads on how I can get you out of here without too much difficulty. You'll be here for a few more days at most.
I can definitely handle that. It's
but tell me what you know about Wahid. Quickly. We don't have a lot of time.
His eyes narrow at that point because he knows Rasul. He knows Rasul intimately, and he knows Rasul is not likely to deal out a lot of Wahid, Rasul's nephew. It was meant to be a run-of-the-mill kind of thing. Cargo, shipping back and forth. Somehow, someone got something into our cargo.
So someone else did put it there?
Yes.
Not you or Wahid?
Definitely not us.
Okay, that's interesting. That helps. That's useful.
There's a twinkle. There's something there in his eye as he says that.
And the boy?
He might not. He ran. The moment the constables turned up, he was at the edge of the platform, and he sprinted off, and I dove on it. The grenade. I mean, Rasul was going to get into trouble over this. I mean,
is he close to his sister's son?
He freezes for a moment and then goes, yes, well, you know how Rasul is with family and friends.
Of course, yes.
We're all important to him in a sense. He is very, very close to Wahid.
And Wahid himself, do you have any idea where he might have gone, what he might have done? He would be an invaluable witness in supporting your cause and your claim.
You can't bring Wahid before a judge.
No, of course not.
You can't bring him. So. Wahid needs to leave here.
I know. I just need to know where he is. My God, man, do you not speak in subtle subtext?
So Judge, we have the accomplice to the crime here to prove that the crime was not committed. Shit, I should have said it was an accomplice. Fuck, I'm a bad lawyer.
Yeah, but Mahmoud is
to prove my point, here is
flustered and
Mahmoud,
run
obviously
down.
Your way of doing business has not worked here. That's why we are here, to see if our way of doing business can work here.
He goes, there's not much I can tell you. I mean,
what does he like? Where did he go? What did he enjoy? Who did he talk to?
Wahid has never been to Jallo before. He certainly wouldn't know the area around Kamul or outside of Kamul.
Is he streetwise?
At that point, Mahmoud reaches over and takes hold of your hand, quite close to where your little data watch kind of thing is. And you hear a very slight beeping, like information has been transferred, because he doesn't have anything on him that you can see, but somehow something has been.
It's like a really big bulky thing, like it's not subtle at all. It's like
he's
like
got
a
this big bit sticking out of his arm.
Yeah.
His arm is actually square.
He goes. He certainly. I mean, he was running off out of Kamul the last time I saw him, but he doesn't know that area as well. Beyond Kamul, there's an escarpment. It runs along the entire Skeleton Coast. There are wadis in there with caves. I mean, he could get lost.
Or he could come back to town. Quickly, what did he do while he was here?
He turns away from you at that point and goes, we weren't here that long. Wahid does not know Jallo. He certainly isn't from Jallo and doesn't know the area as well as would be useful for escaping.
Okay, I'm going to tell you off now. Have the decency to look ashamed. At which point I shall launch into a tirade of telling him off and shouting at him and telling him how disappointed we are and how he's brought shame on us and shame on the family and shame on his cow.
Mahmoud looks completely, I mean, he is the kind of actor that you would want to put in that role. He almost looks teary-eyed and his face he sinks to the floor.
I'm hoping that the volume will be enough to draw the police back in. At that
point, Gabriel comes in and I think this conversation has gone on long enough. I mean, it's one thing to wish to speak to an acquaintance, but causing them distress.
I'm so sorry, officer. I was overcome. Please let him go back.
You'd have spoken some.
I hope he will listen to what I have said and learn from it, and will spend this time in prayer to the icons, in the hope of forgiveness.
I love the idea that, like, in the middle of that, you go, "And I hate your bloody roast," and he actually goes, "Oh, okay." Like he actually takes that down, like, "Oh, okay." No, I'm just pretending. Oh, yeah.
Now it is getting late, and I must return to my ship.
Of course. Be mindful. The festival has begun now. You've been here a while now. The festival will have begun. The streets can be a little less. The people are more rambunctious than usual.
More fun.
I know how to navigate a party.
Sighs at that point, like, I wish I was out there. But
just getting drunk and partying and dancing, and he's like,
now,
"Yeah, that must suck."
And I shall leave the constabulary.
As you go outside, you see pretty much what Ari saw. There's bonfires, there are dancers, with surprisingly good ones to your eye, because you have a skill to notice that kind of thing. And seemingly they pull out all the stops for the Festival of Nai. There are entertainers all around telling stories, bonfires, dancing, food, people enjoying themselves. And in a tea room, Ari has just
made a friend.
Had someone.
Yes, let's all assume that's what's about to happen.
So, bump into many people while you're here?
I'll look at whoever it is.
The main thing you notice is a pair of very familiar tattooed lips.
Ah. Right.
And it's already apparent that there's a few more people around you that probably don't belong to any of the other crowds.
Okay.
I think we'd best go outside for a word.
I'd rather stay in here, where there are witnesses.
You feel
all subtly gone.
That's very honest.
You feel something from behind you sort of pressed into your side.
There we go. Well, look, okay, fine. Just be careful on the material.
Intel.
I just got this dirty enough. Let's go outside.
Yeah, that's the smart choice. And the man you bumped into on the way to Rasul's compound, stands up and escorts you out with 3 or 4.
But I will be making a point of getting whatever alcohol I can. So I'll walk out of the bar with like a glass in one hand and a glass in the other hand, or a cup in, like, go out.
Bottle under the shoulder.
Not to spill the drinks.
And they pretty much walk you out the side entrance to the tea house into a small alleyway outside. And you can still feel the
ends of your fingers.
The whatever it is,
for now,
a metallic device sort of poked into your side from behind, and a sudden short jolt goes off, and your knees kind of go weak, and Ari falls over into a non-drunken stupor.
Can my final words be, "You bastard, you made me spill my drink"?
And those are the final words for tonight as well. We'll close it off there. Thank you everyone for joining us. And join us next week for episode 3 to see what Shanaz found out from Mahmoud. What happens to Ari, who is now unconscious?
What's happened to poor Ari?
Poor Ari.
What's
who is
happening
now
to the
unconscious
drinks?
in a side alley somewhere with syndicate members who have already been disgruntled once. And see if they can finally get the Fortune's Breeze upright on the landing gear. And find Wahid, obviously. Thank you, everyone.
Find the fortune.
Thank you to the players for joining me. And thank you to Safino for producing for us tonight.
Thanks, Safino.
Thank you very much.
Join us tomorrow. Well, not me, once again. Join Ben tomorrow for Dragonlance. And join Ben on Tuesday for Vessen, because that's also pretty brilliant. And Nye's in that.
And Safino's in that as well.
Yeah. You get all of the Ben, Nye, and Safino. And join us on Wednesday for the continuation of Coriolis Pay the Road. Thank you for listening. Good night.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Have a good day.